Hello everyone. I will do today a sketch about a shop I really loved. It's in Germany. The city is called Hacknau on the Bodensee, and I will take you with me because everyone can sketch. I took a picture of the shop and now we get started. If you like, grab your stuff and sketch along with me. First of all, I do little points to mark more or less how huge I would love to have the house here on the paper. This time I won't use a pencil to sketch it before. I directly go in with ink, but that is absolutely optional. You can also do it before, really with a little sketch with a pencil, and then you do have the possibility to correct it, but I like it to do it directly, and I don't have the idea that it must be perfect. I like it a little bit more like doodling, and I think in the end it gives a little bit more character, yeah, to whatever you are painting. So I take the measures more or less now of the roof, and then I go in. As we see that there are no harsh straight lines, I also try to pick up the shape, as you can see it now, of the roof, little by little. And so I go on. I'm using here a waterproof ink, which is important because afterwards I like to paint it with watercolors. And of course, it's important that the ink is water resistant, waterproof. Otherwise, everything would mix together, and that is not what I want for this sketch. So I go on with everything what I see, little by little, and you will see really soon it will come together, and I just let you follow now. With these little spots, it is, I think, a good option to find, yeah, the right measurements and to orientate yourself. And then it is more or less correct. Take you a little bit time. You can always see it again in the picture. And then you will see little by little you are observing, and your observation will get better and better the more often you are sketching something. Also the shapes, sometimes we think how we have to draw something, but the reality is sometimes it's different. That's what I'm still learning, and I had to learn. But yeah, how I say, it's getting better and better, and it's also nice to see how we are improving and how we are learning and getting better. So my cat is playing here around now. Maybe you are hearing that. So now I go on to the door. The door here is open. Yeah, but as I said, Here we can also see in the picture how the shapes are, and I'm just following, yeah, and sketching what I'm seeing little by little. So I will put some music on now, and then we can just enjoy the process. It is good to start with the huge shapes. So I started with the house, then the roof. Now I took this door, and now I can go on already to put the smaller things. Here this little wagon stuffed with vegetables, and they were also offering other little homemade things. That was really nice in this shop because they are offering biological food, which is grown also in the area there. It's, by the way, a beautiful area there in the Bodensee. I saw this city which is called Hacknau. And yeah, they are very close to the sea, and that is so beautiful, really. As the shape of the building is really easy, the details are important to bring everything to life, and that it looks kind of cozy, to bring this feeling I had when I saw it. Yeah, because of that, I think it is really important. Also, with the colors of the picture, it was unfortunately a really gray day. It was on this day, it was also raining a lot. So you are free to choose how the weather is in your picture. And I decided that I will paint it later with a blue sky. Yeah, some shadows, some sunlight, because I just love it. Also on the floor, I put some grass because I like the imagination that it's more in the green and not just on a normal street. That is also a fascinating thing, that you are allowed to do to nearly everything because it's your sketch. I put all the little details I saw, here the fruits, and the wagons and everything what they were offering. I look more or less that the proportion is okay. Nothing need to be perfect, but yeah, that the proportions are right, so the eye will see it and you will know this is real. This is fine for me, and I think that is the important thing. Here also I don't put like harsh lines because the floor was also not really even. Ah, that was a huge sign they put there. In the end, I really didn't realize that it was the door. The other door they used to sign things, also to write things down, what they were offering. But for real, I realized it when I was done with the sketch. And also when I were there to take the picture, I also talked to the lady working there. She was really very, very friendly and asked me to take a picture with me and the shop. I didn't realize that. When I was nearly done now with the sketch, I realized that it was the other door. But I think that is also an important thing. No perfection. It is what you see in this moment, and that is what you sketch, what you paint, and that is okay. It will be nice, so or so, and next time, yeah, I will maybe see it in a better way, or I will take more care on the details, and then I can see, oh yeah, that is not just a sign they put out, it is really the door. So don't be too hard and too strong to yourself. There is no need of perfection. It's more to enjoy what you do, to bring on the paper what you see, and of course, you will do it in your own style. And if you try to be too perfect, I think it is also not possible to find your own style. So just enjoy what you do and let's go on. Here I'm adding some details of the interior, just also to create some deep. Later we can have a look inside of the shop. We still see what they are offering, and with the colors we can also build up more the deep of the open shop. It's just more to give an imagination of that there is something inside. Now I put some details on the door, and in general, with this easy or simple building, it is important later to put some really nice details to bring this sketch alive. So I will let you enjoy a little bit and follow. If you also like, you can send me your sketches later. I'm also on Instagram with my name leila.alsamat.art. I would love to see if you sketched along. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always ask. The materials I used, I bought this pen of Lamy. I think he's really well known. And the waterproof ink, as I said, is really important for what we want to do. Then I used here a small variation of watercolors from Schminke, but it's also possible to use less. But here it is quite comfortable. You don't have to mix a lot of colors because they are already offering 24 colors, and sometimes it is just easy to use them. But that we will see later when we go to the colors. As the house is really, I would say, minimal as it is there, I also put the water tube. And now I will go in with the structure. It's like wooden pillars, and yeah, I will take some of them to give it the structure and the optic. But it is also not necessary to put each pattern just as you think that it's nice. The eye is also, if you see something and you don't need to put each one of them, your brain automatically fills it up and understands that it is wood in the upper part of the house, and we have this other really nice stone structure in the lower part of the house. And here I do the same. I just give a little imagine of the structure, and I think later we can go in with the watercolor, and then we can also put this a little bit out, and that's more than enough. I think it's really important not to do too much, because then it's losing this little bit natural look, but it makes it, for me personally, more interesting. It's also now with the roof, it's enough to put some little strokes here to give the imagine of the roof. Later here as well, we go in with different colors, and so it will come together. So also, as you see the sign of the shop, I didn't have the right measurement, but also that is okay, because I'm just doing it for myself, and I'm learning With each sketch I do, I am learning what was positive, what can I do better maybe in the next time. And here I see I could have left more space for this sign. It's also just some millimeters, but in the end, yeah, I am fine with that. I will mix it a little bit with the letters and then it is okay. I think it is also really important, yeah, to take it as it is, to be nice to yourself, and then you can go on and grow. Not to be too hard, because then it's a kind of pressure which we absolutely don't need. So now I go in with the letters, and I decided for myself to leave a part out and just fill the space we have, and that is okay. Of course, if you would do it like if someone wants to buy it, so if they give you or ask you to do that, then of course it would have been important that it's more correct. But in this case, it's just for myself, and then it is okay. Now I go in again with the ink to make some strokes a little bit stronger, and then they turn out more. I do this, yeah, how I see it, how I feel it, what would I love to have more in the focus. And as you can see, I don't use harsh lines. Now I do it looser than before for this little bit wiggy-waggy style. And it's also absolutely easy to do it like that. Yeah, you see how it comes out a little bit stronger. So a little bit more defined, and yeah, it gives it a good structure. I already put the watercolors there and a plate to mix the colors a little bit. It is a small one of the Schminke. It is, yeah, I think the smallest edition they offer. Here in Germany, you pay around about 80 euros. There are 24 colors inside, so it's really comfortable to use them, and you don't need to mix too much Although in the beginning, I think maybe it can make it more difficult if you have to mix each color, or some are using just 4 colors or 6 colors, and I think it is a good training. Then you automatically need to know more about the colors, about the mixing techniques, and but I think in the beginning it is already enough if you have to focus on a lot of other things. And but everyone, of course, can choose how he wants to do it. I thought for me this schminke with 24 colors was a good decision. I really like it. I can put it also in my pocket and take it with me. I refilled already a lot of colors, and yeah, everything you need is there inside. There are also different greens, different tones of green, different tones of red and blue, brown. You also have a gray already mixed, a dark gray for the shadows, a black, also a white, what can be interesting to use it. Yeah, and here I have the brushes. I must admit in the end I used just one brush because it has a really small tip, and I'm absolutely fine with that. And what I did now, I did some water. I sprayed it on top of the colors because then it is, yeah, you activate the colors with water, and then it is already absolutely easy to use them. You can do it, but it's no must. So now I go in with the first red brown here. And start to create this beautiful house. When I'm mixing one color, I try to put it everywhere I see it. I want to have the color. And sometimes, mostly, I go over it again to give it also kind of a little bit of structure. It's also with the same color, with the same mix, you can go in again and you will already see a different, because you can layer the watercolor. Here I take a little bit out because it was, I like that it's also different in the thickness of the color. It looks more interesting. And here you can see I go again over the door, and here the frame of the sign, and already you can see that it looks much more interesting, more than wood really looks like. So just enjoy. I will go on now, and later we go on talking about everything. It is also how you see the colors. It is your choice. Yeah, how you put in the colors, which colors you are mixing. Here I thought it is more like a mixture between of this reddish brown and an orange nearly, so I choose this yellow, orange yellow. I go in with that, and as I use a lot of water, it stays wet on the paper for a while, And I can go in with another color or again with the same mixture, and then it will come really nice together. That is also, I think, the most beautiful thing of watercolor, that everything comes together. Now you see the edges of the sign, which have this nice used look. I go inside with a dark tone. It is black, and it gives this really nice used look. And as you see, the brown is still wet. It's flowing one into another, and so you are avoiding harsh lines. And little by little, everything's coming alive. I always have the picture in my mind, and I'm observing where are the dark zones, and there I go inside. Also, when I'm mixing a color, I try to use it in several spots of the picture. Here I already go inside of the shop to create the dark inside. And this I will also build up more and more. That is also kind of a perspective inside of the house, that it's not looking too flat later. The deepness of this room. Yeah, and so we go on little by little. Now I go again with this reddish brown into the yellow I put on the door already, and also on this wagon, which was loaded with vegetables and with fruit. And here you can also see how nice these colors are mixing. You don't have to do anything, just that they are wet and you are putting them together. Just let it flow a little bit. Again, the frame. My cat is meowing, joining me here. So now I'm taking a brown tone for the roof. It is also nice to leave white spots. It gives the impression of the reflection of the sunlight. And yeah, during the process you can still go inside with color and overpaint it. And the rain tube as well on this brown. Now I'm preparing a mixture of black and gray.
Yeah, to give again this used look a little bit of the roof. And here you can see as well this typical watercolor, how everything is coming together. And it's working for you. You don't have to do a lot. Just accept the flow of the watercolor. Here I'm already setting like a little shadow under the roof. My opinion, that is also important, that it can come alive. Now I go into the sign. It was a black, but on the plate also mixed, how you can see, with water. And so you can already create a little bit structure, that it's not too boring. And as I said before, when I have the color, I always have a look, where can I put it in the picture, because it's always nice, the repetition of a color in a painting. Here again, I go inside of the shop to darken the inside, that we will have later this impression of the deepness. And our eye can see that this is inside. The shop is open, and we can build this darkness up little by little until we think that it's okay, when we are satisfied. Yeah, here I'm giving a little bit color to the fruits, and I'm also starting here with the sunroof, the marquise. I love this marquise, the striped marquise. Wherever I see them, or also the striped sun umbrellas, that is directly remaining me on vacations, on summer. I really love that. Yeah, and with the red, it just looks fantastic. So here again, I choose this red tone, and then I tried to put it several times into the picture. I colored the fruits with the red on the wagon and also inside of the shop. Now I'm intensing the wooden wagon a little bit with the color. I mixed it again with water, and yeah, so I can layer, and until I like the color, the intensity of the color. So the house, I just gave it a little tone of this ochre mixed with a lot of water, because it's better to go inside really lightly, and later you can go in with more color, but the opposite is quite difficult. If you do already put the color, you can take it off with your brush, but it's much easier to do it the other way around. Always start light with a light tone with more water, and then you can intense it with less water and more color, or also darken it with a darker color. So now here again you can see I tried to intense the look of the bricks with a darker brown. I used it also in front of the shop, and now I go in with this brown and a lot of water to the roof to make the color a little bit more intense on the roof. Yeah, and then I use the tone again. Yeah, to let everything look a little bit more interesting. And this is also your own imagination. What you see, what you feel, how do you see this tone coming up? Maybe in your picture, and there you can put it a little bit and see how it feels, how it comes together. Do you like it or not? It's also everything a little bit of trying. And I put grass under the sign, also under the bank, because I thought it is much nicer if there is some green. I'm a nature lover. Actually, I would love that nearly everything is green, so yeah, I decided it. And now we are bringing here different tones together. As always, we start with the light green, the light color, and then we go inside again with a little bit darker green. It's also still wet and so able to come and mix together. Now I take the green here to color the fruits and the vegetables. Now there is another marquise on this wagon. I decided to take this turquoise, which also is a wonderful color, and in contrast to the orange, it's really a nice mixture. And as you can see, also the turquoise I bring into the grass. And also here I took a little bit color out of the sign because I liked it more like this. I put a little bit turquoise as well, and also on the roof. That is also not a must. That is how you, whether you like it or not. You can also do it, or just leave it in a basic brown tone, or the grass just in the green tones. Now I'm doodling a little bit around with the tones, how I like it, a little bit intensing the shadow under the roof. What is also a theme with watercolor is that sometimes you like it just as it is, but then when it's drying, it's losing a lot of color. So it's drying up much more light than it is in the wet look. That's sometimes a little bit sad. But we have to keep that in mind while we are painting, and maybe, yeah, leave it a little bit more intense. So now I'm putting a little bit water where I would love to have the blue sky. As I said before, for me it's great that I can let the sun shine in my paintings, and as you see, now I just go in with the blue. I activate it with water on this separate palette because I took this for another painting of a tube. Yeah, I intense it a little bit here and there. And as you can see, it's very wet, and then it can work. I put kind of a blue reflection of the sky also on the roof. And here on the sign, on the floor. It's the same principle as before, that you always use the color on separate areas, and then everything comes really nice together in the end. So that was the part with the watercolors, and now I took the watercolor pencils to intense some areas. That is also really a nice option to come back again and to work a little bit on it until you think it's done. This watercolor pencil I took from Albrecht Dürer. I think I took also a set of 24 pencils, which are not really necessary, but nice to have. You can use them dry, or you can use them on wet paper, or you can also put them in the water, the tip, and then bring it on the paper. It's also really nice. You can also, when you put it dry on the dry paper, you can go in with water afterwards and activate it. So you have, as you see, a lot of possibilities to use them. Yeah, here I am also intensing a little bit the shadow under the roof. The areas where the sign is touching the floor, the bricks again a little bit, so that everything is coming together. And now we are more or less done. I will later sign it as well. And if you like the video, if you like to join me, give it a like. That would be really nice for me. Follow me, subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please let me know. You can write me a comment, or if you have ideas which video I could do or what I could do better. I'm absolutely open and really grateful for your advices to get better and to do it maybe nicer, or to follow your ideas, and then we can go on painting together and enjoying this little beautiful hobby. Here I was activating the red. Can you see that? The tip of the red pencil? How intense the red is in that moment. Isn't that beautiful? That is what I meant before. That is really something beautiful with this pencil. They are so intense